Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Georgian College's first ever virtual open house. If you're joining us right now, you're interested in skilled trades, and we welcome you and welcome all of your questions. My name is Sharon. By day, I'm normally the communications manager at Georgian, but today I'm your host to help lead you through this presentation as well as get all of your questions answered, hopefully by the end. Kristen is our moderator. If you put your questions into the chat box right now, she's moderating that, and we'll answer your questions at the end, but you can put them in right now or throughout the presentation as you think of them, and we'll get to them at the end after Matt gives his presentation. So we'll kick off today. We're very fortunate to have with us Bill Angelakos. He is the Dean of Technology and Visual Arts, and so I'm going to throw it to Bill for a quick welcome, and then we'll get on towards the presentation in just a minute. So over to you, Bill.
Thanks, Sharon. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Bill Angelakos, the Dean for Technology and Visual Arts, and we are delighted that you're able to join us today for the academic session for the Skilled Trades cluster of programs. It is a great opportunity for you to learn more about our programs, but to also ask those questions that you're looking to get an answer for. It is a critical time right now for you as you're deciding which program you want to join for your first experience in post-secondary. So let's get at it. What I'd like to do now is, again, thanks so much for joining us. Look forward to the questions. And before we get started, I'd like to introduce the Associate Dean for Engineering and Environmental Technologies to say hello, Rebecca Sabarin, and then we'll turn it over to Mac Reeves, the other Associate Dean for Skilled Trades. Rebecca?
Hi, yes, thank you very much, Bill. I'm absolutely excited to be here today. My name is Dr. Rebecca Sabarin, and I do have some of the skilled trades within the Engineering and Environmental Technology portfolio. So just thank you for letting me join in this session today. I'll turn it over to you, Mac.
Great, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Bill, and welcome to the Skilled Trades session at Georgian College. First, if you cannot hear me, raise your left hand. If you did raise your left hand, you should probably be in marketing and not in skilled trades. So welcome. We will see, we're going to walk through several of the skilled trades programs that we have here at Georgian College. We are here to help you build your dream career, and you have chosen a great path if you're looking at skilled trades. I'm just going to share with you right now the skilled trades programs that we're offering at the Barrie campus. So we have 7 campuses, and each campus offers many different programs. At the Barrie campus for skilled trades, we have cabinet making, carpentry techniques, gas technician, heating, refrigeration, air conditioning or Hrack, and machining. And we're really fortunate today to have some of the coordinators here to answer your questions. And new for Barrie for next September is Building Automation System and Integration, a grad certificate, if you're interested in that. The Midland campus is really centered on skilled trades. We have many programs there: electrical techniques, marine engine mechanics, small engine mechanic, welding, and we also offer apprenticeships in many of those programs. The Muskoka campus has a wonderful wood shop, and we're really proud that for new for 21, we will be offering a construction techniques program that will be looking at several different trades in the construction field. So today I'd like to take a second here to introduce some of the people that you would be involved with if you were taking skilled trades at Georgian College. On the screen you can see Jared Otterman. If you can just wave to the crowd. Jared is in the carpentry program and can also speak to cabinet making at both Barrie, Muskoka, and Owen Sound. Rena Lang is our hairstyling. It is offered at the Barrie campus as well. Davidson. Rob is coordinates our marine and small engine program, can also speak to all of our programs at the Midland campus. And Gary Harris. Gary Harris has run the machining program at the Barrie campus, both the machining post-secondary and the machining apprenticeship program. So you'll have an opportunity in the next half hour to ask questions to these folks about any of our programs. I just want to talk a little bit about the skilled trades field. As you've probably heard on the news and for the past several years, there's a huge shortage of skilled trades people across Canada and especially in Ontario. And even during these times of COVID, there's still great demand for skilled trades. I've had many questions in the past 6 months about how are we handling all of the hands-on activities during COVID. And we want to guarantee you that the number of shop classes, the hands-on portion, has not changed due to COVID. We're running all of our skilled trades programs now, and we will be running them in September. The theory portions are online right now, but all of the hands-on sessions are still going on in the shops as they normally would be. We often get questions about jobs in the skilled trades. For the most part, there are more jobs than we have grads. The demand is so large right now for the skilled trades field that job placements or getting jobs at the end has not been an issue. And in fact, in many of our one-year programs, the students have jobs before they graduate through connections that they're able to make in their programs. So you have many choices. There are about 140 trades in Ontario. Georgian College offers most of the most common trades. So if you have any questions, please type them into the chat line, and the coordinators here and I will attempt to answer those questions. So Sharon, I will hand it back over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mac. Appreciate that overview, and we do have some questions already coming in. I will ask if our panelists could let us know. I do know some of your areas and who might be able to answer a question, but we can only go to each person on the camera at a time. So if you can let us know if you plan to answer the question, then Adam can switch to you, and you'll have to unmute your microphone as well. So our first question comes from Kevin, who asks if class will be in person or virtual on Midland campus, and I know Mac can answer this generally for the Midland campus about what's online or virtual and what's in person in Midland.
Absolutely. So in Midland, again, we have the 5 trades programs that we offer in Midland: marine engine, plumbing techniques, small engine, and I'm missing one, electrical. All programs, all the hands-on components are in class. Okay, we've been able to design the shops where there's social distancing. Everyone is wearing masks when they're in class, but all hands-on components are being offered on-site and in class. The theory portions are offered online. Now, most of those classes are synchronous, so you are actually online with your faculty member at this, and that is the same. That is the same for almost all of our skilled trades programs at Georgian, where the hands-on, or all of our skilled trades programs at Georgian, where the hands-on components are still in class and not virtual, but the theory is offered remotely.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Mac. The next question I know is going to come from an answer from Rena. It's about our hairstyling program. So for the hairstyling program, does the kit come in a bag or something else? Can you talk a bit about the kit for hairstyling?
Hi there. Yeah, the bag does come with a bag that's got wheels on it, but there's 2 different programs we have. We have a full-time program where the kit is required to be purchased, and we have the apprenticeship program where the kit's not required, because a lot of times students are already working in salons and they have tools. They're welcome to purchase one from the college though, and it is an excellent value.
Great, thanks, Rena. Also, will I be licensed in my trade when I graduate from the program I'm interested in? So really, I guess that's a general question for any of the trades. Mac, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So let's take electrical as an example. You can take electrical techniques at the Midland campus. It is a 1-year technique certificate program. You use that program. We use that program to help you get an apprenticeship. So to become a certificate Red Seal electrician, it's about 4 years of work and school. The program at Georgian gets you an entrance, helps you get into the apprenticeship program, and then we also offer the apprenticeship in-school apprenticeship training at the Midland campus. So in total, an electrician, it will take you about 8,500 hours of work and school to become a qualified electrician, and that generally equates to 3 to 4 years. And remember that approximately 80% of the learning is on the job for an apprenticeship program. Okay, but you would come to Georgian. So the first route is the 1-year techniques program that gives you the basics, that gives you the bases to go into the apprenticeship program, and then the apprenticeship program, where upon completion of that, once you finished your hours and finished your 3 levels of apprenticeship, you would write a certificate of qualification to become a certified electrician. That would be the same for plumbing, marine engine mechanic. Most of the trades work in that same fashion.
Great, thanks, Mac. We have a question here from Drew. Drew is interested in the HRAC program. What high school courses do you require? Interested in what math you'd need, and also would you recommend physics for this program? Who can speak to that?
Gary
Harris. Perfect.
Hi guys. So it's a very common question to a lot of our programs actually. So generally a high school graduate diploma, grade 12, grade 12, and as far advanced in math as you can, grade 12 math, college or university math is physics. Actually, physics is a great class to take to be if you want to get involved in the HRAC trade. HRAC, we around the world, you see HVACR, which is heating, ventilation, and refrigeration. We've combined it all into HRAC, heating, refrigeration, air conditioning. So the first year of that program basically is your gas fitting G3 licensing, and having physics is great because we start learning refrigeration. So hopefully, if you take all the maths you can take, it's only beneficial for the future.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Our next question will go back to Rena. This person is wondering if haircutting is included within hairstyling. So I think if you could give a little bit more detail on the kinds of techniques and things that you cover in hairstyling, that would probably be really helpful. So over to Rena again.
Hi, yes, haircutting is covered. It's done at different levels. So when you start out at a basic level, then we teach you with the basic tools of how to do like introduction to cutting. And then as we move along through the course, we introduce different tools and different techniques that you would be able to get the same type of cuts, but personalize them.
Great, thanks, Rena. And this person's wondering if partway through a course, and they think it may not be for them, is it possible to switch to another? How does that work? Is that something you can answer, Mac?
Sure. So just as an example, maybe I'll go to Rob Davidson. Rob, could you speak to switching from marine engine to small engine? Could you talk to a little bit about the ability to do the dual diploma there?
Sure, absolutely. There's lots of opportunities at the college, and the unique thing about our two programs, the Marine and the Small Engines program, is I quite often have students that came in to say the small engine program, but quickly learned their desire to learn the Marine side of things. So they may just switch to that major and complete the Marine program instead of the small engine. But we offer something that's very unique within these two programs is semester one in both the Marine and the small engine program are common. So you end up getting the same credits in either program, which gives you the opportunity that and once you graduate, say as a small engine mechanic, you can return for a third semester and pick up the second certificate in the Marine program. So basically it's 3 months, 3 semesters of school, and 2 college certificates. For students, being a coordinator, I quite often get emails from students at other programs that, maybe I'm in psychology in Barrie and that's just not what I thought it would be, and I would want to transfer into a skilled trades program or something like that, and that's very doable. Gen Ed's communication courses, those credits do apply to our programs as well, so that would give you some exemptions if you've already taken them and things like that. If you are thinking of changing a program, make sure you contact your coordinator of both programs and make sure it's the right move for you.
Great, thanks a lot, Rob. That's good advice. And I think I have a couple of questions here that will go back to Gary, and they're similar, so I think you can probably touch on them both at the same time. One person is wondering what the difference between gas technician and HRAC is. And then Drew was also asking, in HRAC, can you get your gas license? So seem to be a couple of similar questions there, and I'm wondering if Gary could cover both of those for us. Gary?
Hi there, absolutely. So the HRAC program is a 2-year program with a co-op in the middle. So actually we do the first semester from, let's say, September through till January, till Christmas time. And that is actually, this first semester is where we get our G3 license. A G3 license is a gas license that allows you to work on a job site, work in the gas trade on a construction site, or even be employed to even carry black pipe and gas pipe. Next semester is towards a G2, and a G2 license is actually your own certification so that you can actually go out into the workforce, start your own business in a residential setting with a gas license. So at that point you can install furnaces, fireplaces, pool heaters, repair anything with natural gas. And that's a G2 license. So having done that, that's finishing three academic semesters, but your G3 and then your G2. And the students go on a co-op, a work term. And the semester focuses on refrigeration. So as a gas fitter, you can imagine, if you're working in construction and new builds, we're installing furnaces and fireplaces and things on a regular basis. But we only heat our homes 6 months of the year. So a lot of times, so whether it be sheet metal or whether it be a refrigeration mechanic. So this is where we see the HRAC, heating, refrigeration, air conditioning. So we give you a semester of refrigeration, and it gives you an understanding. Is this a trade I want to get into? And it will give you some great experience. Today, you've done your schooling here. The apprenticeship is an after fact, another 4 years beyond your post-secondary education, which is true with a lot of apprenticeships nowadays. So hopefully that answered your question for you. If not, just elaborate, and I'll do the best I can to answer some more.
Thanks, Gary. Don't go too far because I'll just jump to this next question, which is, what is the average number of students per class in the HRAC program first semester? Can you give a sense of what a student might expect in class sizes? Back to Gary.
Like a lot of Georgian College programs, our class sizes are quite small. In your core courses, a class of 30 would be considered a fairly large class. In our lab classes, we try and keep students under 20 because it's a hands-on practical course. We want to make sure everybody gets everything they can of the practical component. And then when you get into other classes, gen ed classes, or communications classes, those classes could be up, once we're back on campus, could be up to about 50 in the classroom. Those are what we call gen ed and the core courses that you take studying in your program. 30 would be a large class size.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Gary. And we have a question here, someone looking for more information on the Construction Techniques program for next year. Who can speak to the Construction Techniques program for us and give a little information for this student?
Sure. So for next year, we will be at Muskoka running a construction technique or construction pre-apprenticeship program, and we're hoping in September 22 that we will have the construction techniques program. So construction techniques is like a taster for the construction trades, where the students will take a course in plumbing, cabinet making, carpentry, Hrack, and small engine as it pertains to the construction industry. So small engine as it pertains to, say, generators, tile saws, chainsaws, tile cutters, sorry. That program, unfortunately, because of COVID, has to be pushed to September 22. But we will be running a condensed version of that called a pre-apprenticeship program. It's a little different next year for the Muskoka campus. So there are a couple of opportunities to do sort of that multi-trade type program. If you're not sure you want to get into, in Midland, we run a manufacturing apprenticeship program where the students have the opportunity to take several different trades. In Midland, it's industrial electrician, welding, plumbing, as it pertains to the manufacturing side. And in Muskoka, we do construction pre-apprenticeship, which are the trades that I listed before. In September 22, we will be launching a one-year program in construction techniques, which will encompass all the construction trades.
That's great. Thanks, Mac. I think you're going to have to answer this next one as well. Someone's asking, can they continue their welding apprenticeship at Georgian College while doing other courses? What would you advise this student?
Okay, so we have a one-year welding certificate program. We do not run a welding apprenticeship program. The welding program is a full-time program, and it's an interesting question. It's a good question, especially during COVID. We've had a lot of people say, well, if the courses are online, if most of the courses are online, can I work full-time and take a course and take a full-time program? And we would say, no, it's just far too much work. So the welding program is a full-time program, September till the end of April. We do not, so the welding program is centered around CWB, the Canadian Welding Bureau, and getting your tickets for CWB. So at the end of the program, you have an opportunity to write those certification tickets for CWB, but that is different from a welding apprenticeship program. Okay, welding apprenticeship is more industrial, so you would find more of the welding apprenticeship programs in areas like Kitchener and Hamilton, where there's more heavy manufacturing. For most of what's needed in Simcoe County, we generally require CWB tickets, so that's the program that we offer because it suits the type of industry that we have in Simcoe County.
Great, thanks, Mac. We have Lori, who is interested in marine engine mechanic. And what experience should a student have before beginning the marine engine mechanic program? And I know we have Rob. So Rob, over to you for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about our program is that you have to have no experience required whatsoever. In fact, I like to have students that don't have any experience because it's easier to train somebody that wants to learn instead of training somebody that's learned a lot of bad habits. So there's no experience necessary. The only thing that I ask for is that you bring your passion and your desire for why you want to be in the marine field, and that'll get you a long way in our industry.
That's great advice, Rob. Thanks. It's great advice for a lot of different areas too. We have someone here they're currently looking into the tool and die program. Are there any opportunities in this field for co-op and or apprenticeships? Also, are there any government subsidies that are offered for this type of program? Who can speak to that?
I've got this one here.
Okay, back to Gary.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, the tool and die program. We have a course that we call Mechanical Technician Precision Skills. It's a 2-year program. We start 2 different intakes. So we start in September to April. And the first year, which is the normal intakes as we do school here, students do a co-op. Then they come back in the second year and they focus on CNC or computerized numerical controlled machining. The prospects coming out of that course, actually, there's 5 different areas that are mainly in demand, and that's tool general machinists, CNC programmers, and millwrights. So the vast majority of students end up in one of those fields, and there are more jobs than we see after year. The job itself, the program itself is highly successful. We're actually a Haas Technical Education Center. So Haas is the world's largest manufacturer of CNC machines, computerized numerical controlled machining. So we actually are a Haas Technical Education Center. They provide us with $40,000 in funding for students and scholarships. So, for instance, in about 5 weeks, we're handing out $15,000 to the students in semester 3 who achieve 75% or better. That's only one of the scholarships we have in awards. That's open to international students, domestic students. We also have a lot of industry support. Just about a month ago, I set aside, we set $6,000 from local industry for students in the program as well. So we hand that out at our awards ceremony coming up in December. The job prospects are incredible. We also do the 2 years Mechanical Technician Precision Skills program, and then we also do the in-school portion of the mold making, tool and die, and just in-school training on a block release. So all 3 levels of all 3 apprenticeshable trades. I hope that answers your questions.
Great, thanks, Gary. We'll be going back to you for this next one as well. Hrack is a popular topic here today, and Mac touched on this. We have someone who's planning on taking Hrack with a full-time job. They're working 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Do you know what the class days and times typically are if they're looking to take this program?
Hi there. Yes. So first of all, it's going to be almost impossible for you to work full-time and then also do a 2-year time Georgian College, regardless of what field it's in. It's just the time you need to study and the time you need to work. You know, we recommend people don't work any more than 20 hours a week. Sort of a lot of part-time jobs, and that's a lot. That's a lot. Now the work days actually go from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, depending on when you select your timetable. So timetable, you're asked to go on and pick your courses on a certain day. So once you're registered as a student, we'll send you an email saying registration for first semester classes will be, let's say, August 15th. Hrack students can go on at 2 p.m. and select their courses. So when you go on to select your courses, you can select the courses you wish at the times you wish if they're available. But once they're full, then that one's closed off, and the next one is So having said that, we do have some part-time courses on the weekend. That would be, depending on your work schedule. However, working full-time and taking full-time course beneficial. You'll struggle through it. One thing to think about though is, inside a 2-year program, and we have, we don't have to take it full time. You can take a 2-year program over, and it's an extension. So you're taking a lighter course load. That might be something to think about as well. You don't have to be a full-time student. You could be, instead of taking 6 courses, maybe a little more managed.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. You were breaking up there a little bit, but I think people probably got the answer they're looking for. Sounds like, if they take it part-time, they can stretch it out over a longer period of time. It might take them a bit longer to complete, but they can juggle things a little bit better that way. So we're going to go back to Rob for the next one. So get ready, Rob. We have someone who's passionate about the marine engine program, and they want to know how many places are there in that program, and how quickly do they usually fill up?
Well, that depends. The marine technician field is a very one of the most needed skilled trade sectors going on right now. So we're very well supported by the industry, and we have had up to 90 students in 1 year. So the door's open, and we've never really waitlisted it because the industry would shoot us for not bringing in students that they need to go to work once they're done with us. So there's no rush to apply. I just want to make sure that the students that are coming to my program are prepared to be in the industry and working as soon as they are done their schooling.
Okay, great.
And if I can just add,
yep.
If I can just add to that, Sharon, the much like the machining program in Barrie, the marine engine program in Midland, there are programs that have several jobs per graduate. I think last year in the marine engine program, Rob, we had something like 120 placements for 25 grads at the time. So there was a selection of, the grad had the opportunity to select where they wanted to go. And the recreational boating industry is all over Ontario. So there really are tremendous opportunities.
Great. Thanks, Mac. I'm not sure who we have for electrical techniques, but we have someone wondering what is covered in the electrical techniques program. Who could speak to that today?
I can, Sharon. Rob.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Rob.
Okay, so things that are covered in the electrical techniques program is, again, it's a very entry-level program to get students the skills they need to enter into multiple directions. They can leave us, seek out an apprenticeship and become an electrician, or they could take the education they got with us and take that into an engineering or a technologist type program field as well. So we give them the basics from DC fundamentals and basic electricities to simple trade practices and automation, and some automation and control tasters, so courses like that. We do a fair bit of electrical installations, again, getting students used to using the tools. And we also get into the electrical codes so that they're familiar with those as they move out into the industry.
Okay, thanks, Rob. We're going to stick with you for this next one too. Kevin was wondering, and you touched on it a bit, if I complete the electrical techniques program, do I automatically get enrolled in the apprenticeship program?
No, you don't. Apprenticeship is an employer-sponsored activity, meaning that you have to have a job and a sponsor in order to become an apprentice in any field. Electrical is no different. But I always put it this way, if I was an electrician looking to hire an apprentice, would I be more interested in taking somebody off the street that has no experience and train them from the ground up? Or would I rather take somebody that's invested 8 months into an electrical program and come to me at that point where I don't have to start at ground zero? I can start at the 10th step and apprentice them from that point. So I think taking these 1-year programs is definitely a leg up on securing an apprenticeship. And because we offer all the electrical apprenticeship in-class courses, we have employers in and out of our building all the time, and there's always a constant email exchange. You know, we're looking for another apprentice. We've grown. We need another apprentice. So the college often helps the student get into a place that will secure an apprenticeship.
Great, thanks, Rob. Don't sit back too far, because we have another question about the marine engine program. Do you in that program, do you do 2 consecutive semesters of courses and then do placements after that, or does that happen concurrently?
No, we do them. You do semester 1, semester 2, and then you'll be eligible to complete your field placement. So in our program, in the marine program, in April, which is perfect time for the marine industry because that's when launch begins. All the marinas are looking for employees to get the boats ready and launched. That's when the student will complete a very short placement. The placement in the marine program is only 160 hours. So that's what, 4 weeks at 40 hours a week. And then that just usually 99% of the time turns into a full-time job where the student's working at full-time capacity from that point on, and quite often will be registered as an apprentice as a marine engine technician and then return to us for to start off their apprenticeship in level 2.
Okay, thanks very much, Rob. I'm going to give you a bit of a break now, I think, maybe, on construction industry training, and I think probably we'll go back to you, Mac, on some of the programs you were talking about. Does this offer the license to work? What do you get at the end of those construction techniques programs? Can you speak to that, Mac? Oh, unmute your mic.
Yep. So no, it does not offer you. So there are, when you talk about a license, there are sort of no licenses. So you have, say, an electrician or a plumber who must have their C of Q, their certificate of qualification. So in order to work in the electrical field or the plumbing field, as an example, you must either be an apprentice, and to be an apprentice, as Rob said, you have to have an RTA, registered training agreement, and with an employer in order to work in the trade. You work in the trade as an apprentice, or once you're finished, then you get your C of Q and you're licensed, what you would call a licensed electrician or a licensed plumber. In carpentry, it's a little different, and maybe I'll go up to Jared to talk a little bit about the carpentry, because it's not a restricted trade. So Jared, can you speak a bit about the carpentry program?
Sure, yeah, thanks, Mac. So I think a great way to expand on that further is like what Rob was saying earlier, that if I'm looking to hire some young folks as my company expands, I can take my chances with a job posting, you know, just on the internet or through Indeed or something like that, or I can seek graduates of programs like ours, the Techniques program, where as the potential employer, you know, the graduates from those programs have already committed a year and have some basic skills and even more than basic skills in some cases, to then they can, as Rob was saying, start at step 10 instead of step 1 out in the workforce. So, and as you've heard from the other trades this afternoon, that we have far more job openings than we do have students to fill them. So come to us and we can get you employed in the field for sure.
Love that, Jared. Thank you. Our next question, back to Rena. We haven't talked to you for a little while now. Someone's wondering, is the hairstyling program in person or online, or a combination of both? Can you talk about how that's working right now?
Thanks. Normally the program is, of course, all in person, and it's about 35 hours a week. But with COVID right now, we are doing, all of our labs are still live, so everything is still done into the lab for your on-hand practical, but all of the theory is put online, and it's made both asynchronous and synchronous.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think, Mac, you might want to speak to this this next one, although I think you've all touched on it at different points in the conversation today. What trades are in the highest demand right now? If someone's looking at a trade and they want to make sure they come out and they have employment right away, what should they be looking at?
I really think you should be looking at what you're passionate in, because there's so many options. As you heard here today, carpentry, construction, there's lots of openings, machining. Gary, at one point, I think there were 4 or 5 jobs for every grad that we had out of the machining program. Marine and small engine, plumbing, electrical, they're all programs that have high demand. So really, you've got to look at what you want to do. What is the area that you're the most interested in? So I take it that if you're in this session, you're probably interested in working with your hands. Are you interested in engines? Are you interested in 2 strokes and 4 strokes? Are you interested in working with wood? Are you interested in creating metal objects? You know, are you interested in games, gamification? People that like to play games sometimes are very much attracted to the machining industry because you're creating things quite often in AutoCAD and then producing them in a machine shop. So it really depends on your passion. Honestly, right now, all of our trades are in demand. We run these skilled trades in Simcoe County because they meet the demands of our local workforce. So I can't really tell you what, I mean, I could tell you what for example, Simcoe Muskoka, 20% of the full-time job openings in Simcoe Muskoka are in the construction, okay? So, and a significant portion of new businesses in Simcoe are created by tradespeople. So there are lots of opportunities in the skilled trades, and don't get too concerned about going down one path or the other. They are pathways. So you may want to get into plumbing and you may become a plumber, but you may, 5 years later, 10 years later, venture off into the plumbing business. Not necessarily, I mean, you'll use your plumbing CFQ, Certificate of Qualifications, but you may end up with your own business. So there are lots of different pathways within each trade. The key is, what are you interested in? That I think is the most important piece.
Thanks, Mac. I think that's great advice. Oh, sorry, was someone else chiming in there? No, okay. I think that's great advice, and we're actually, the time has just flown by. We're coming to the end of our session, but we do have a couple of people interested in understanding how co-op placements work, and is the student responsible for finding their placement, or do they get help finding placements, and are these co-ops paid or not? Mac, do you want to cover that, and then we'll wrap up?
Sure. So most of our skilled trades programs are not co-op programs. Okay, so they are designed to feed into an apprenticeship program. So maybe if I could pass it over to Rob Davidson, because Rob, in Marine and Small Engine, there is an internship, in 160-hour internship, and Rob, maybe you'd like to speak to that.
Yeah, for sure, Mac. It's one of the unique things about our Marine and Small Engines program is that all students are required to complete a placement. And we do advertise it to employers as a non-paid placement, kind of a test drive your student, test drive your employer type of relationship. But times have changed quite a bit, and employers are paying the students for these placements. And it is ultimately up to the student to decide where they want to complete their placement. It's, I don't think they'd want me to tell them that there's a marina in Wawa that is looking for someone, so you're going to go up there regardless of where you live. So I always encourage the students in my program to look in the area that they will be residing once they're done their college time, and that's where they should be seeking their employers, their placement opportunity. But at the same time, we advertise placement opportunities with all the employers throughout Ontario. In fact, I've had some postings from Nova Scotia. I've even had some from the Caribbean. So it kind of opens the door for students that want to move into new areas and things like that. And I will assist them in getting that placement secured for them.
That's great. Thanks, Rob. And we've flown through this session today, and I just want to thank Mac and all of our panelists today for joining us and answering so many of your questions. I know that you still have questions out there, and you'll see in the Q&A chat that Kristen has also put links in there. So if you want to go to the website and get more information on our skilled trades programs, you can find it there. You can also book a phone appointment to meet with one of our recruitment specialists who can help you with that. And don't forget, today, if you apply to Georgian on OCAS, we'll cover the application fee. So you'll apply completely for free as long as Georgian is one of your program choices. So don't forget about that. And thank you again for joining us. We really enjoyed having you here today, and have a great day.